What's up, everyone? It's Sterling Brown of the Combot Collective, covering everything you want to know about the 2021 Battlebots season, as we are now less than a month away from the 2021 Battlebots premiere on January 6th. We are now beginning our 9-part Battlebots 2021 preview, covering all 60-plus competitors in this season, as we are now doing our first two parts of the series right here. The first 19 robots in the field, and our first two parts, the NorCal and SoCal Region, our two largest parts, in fact. I'm going to be sat in with my team of U.S. correspondents, TaskMaster Yin and PoryNog, as we dive into the birthplace of robot combat, and I do apologize ahead of time. Obviously, it's nice to have the brand new studio set up. I am happy to show it off finally, but there are some things still a bit iffy. Obviously, as you can tell, it's still a little bit echoey. And during these first two parts, I was using the backup mic because I thought it was going to work a little bit better. I was still experimenting with some things, and I turned out not liking it. As you can see, I already switched to the Blue Yeti mic to do the intro and outro, but so I do apologize for that. We're still working out some kinks with the setup, but we do promise that every week we want to make this thing a little bit better and a little bit more exciting for y'all. But yeah, before we jump into this, you can follow along by pulling up the Combot Collective Battlebots 2021 info sheet. You saw it on Reddit and Facebook earlier in the year. You can also find it on our Instagram bio and all of our social media pages. And you can also expect a lot more of us from this month. Of course, outside of the 9-part Battlebots series that we're doing, we're also going to be covering Robot Ruckus, the Orlando Maker Fair event that happened about a month ago. And on top of that, we will be covering Antweight World Series 62 in that following week. And then the week after that, we will be covering Robots Live in Crawley, and we'll be dabbling a little bit into the Saudi Arabian event that Robots Live also did this recent November. As always, you can keep up with all of our stuff by following along on Facebook or Instagram, or by joining our Discord server. And you can watch, download, rate, and review our podcast and show on YouTube, Spotify, Audible, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts now, and many other podcast networks that you can find us on. And of course, you can find all of these links on our Linktree, which are on all of our social media pages. And now let's quit talking and let's dive into the 2021 Battlebots Preview, our first chunk of it, at least.
Welcome to the Combot Collective.
Jumping into our NorCal division here today, we're going to start off with a very popular robot, one that barely missed appearing in 2020. As far as we know, it was scheduled to appear all the way up so close to the start of the event, and had, due to family issues or maybe even COVID issues, never was able to make it. But it's here with that same design this year with a brand new Quacking Beak design. It is from Team Black and Blue, of course, captained by Hal Rucker, Duck.
Quack.
Quackity quack.
Quack.
Nah, man, I love this new. I like the Breaker Box style design last year, but I love this one. I feel like it's very sleek, very minimalistic. The quacking flipper is very clever.
I am kind of worried about it though this year.
They have plenty of attachments.
I'm worried. Yeah, I'm worried that new beak has taken away its tank, like its ability to tank.
I don't think so. It's still. I mean, now it has the magnesium body, of course. It's all billet. It's all one giant brick. I mean, they could lose a couple wheels and still be rolling fine. I mean, a worst case scenario, it might lose, lifting capability, but obviously I don't think that thing is much of a lifter anyway. But it's gonna be there's gonna tank impacts, and recently revealed there's been quite a few attachments for this robot too. Of course, we saw the incredibly long wedgelets it's bringing and various other wedgelets it's bringing, but lately, I think earlier this month, they revealed some new weapon configurations that they were bringing along, like a proper spinner plow, kind of like the one we saw in Duck in 2019. And they're also bringing something that kind of looks like Hydra's Cowcatcher. They said that they're bringing specifically for tall robots, so I guess we'll see this thing definitely in use.
Yeah, it's hinged. Like
It's hidden,
seasons or
yeah.
something.
So, it's really fascinating.
Tell me it might
Thing,
lift.
like trying to grab onto something, yeah. But I mean, it's gonna struggle to get into the top 32, I imagine, unless it gets a really easy schedule. I can't imagine what kind of schedule it's gonna give them. But I mean, it's one of the most popular robots in BattleBots. Even regardless of the decision, there's always a bunch of Duck fans out there going full blown,
Yeah.
popping off for
Quick.
Hal Rucker, and of course Hal Rucker's been around forever, and he's had some crazy designs like Crazy Susan and I forgot what his horizontal spinner he had before this was named. Not Marvin. So
Ringmaster.
Marvin was kind of fascinating, and
Ringmaster.
Ringmaster too. And there was another one though. It was a two-wheel drive. Buster. It was called Buster.
Buster.
And then, of course, him and Hannah Rucker, both fantastic drivers. Black and Blue dominated the featherweight, the lightweight and middleweight classes for a good bit of time in Robo games. And Whoops put on fantastic fights. Look at the 2017 Tombstone matchup. And Doug's been right up there with it. It's in it's in my all-time favorite fight with that melee it had with Mecha Rampage and free shipping. And it avenged that 2018 cop out it had in the Rumble, but it has a lot to live up to here. Of course, like I said, I was just talking about my all-time favorite fight, that Rebel with Duck. Here's another one of the robots in that melee, another robot that has a similar reputation to Duck before BattleBots, when Duck was competing as Whoops as a tank, and arguably probably the most successful robot in all of Robot Combat. A multi-time Robo Games and Combot's Cup champion was Original Sin, now competing in BattleBots with its specially armed lifter as free shipping, of course, captained by the legendary driver Gary Jin from Team Special Delivery. Coming in the BattleBots with a 4-6 career record, but one of the most spectacular fighters in the entire competition, always putting on absolutely stupendous matches.
Free shipping.
Yeah, I'm excited for free shipping. I mean, it's just, it might not win a lot of fights, but like it makes every fight it's in phenomenal. It's just so much fun to watch and just really entertaining. Plus, I kind of sponsor it.
Yeah, oh, that's true. Your name's on there, huh?
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
your name is
it was like you pay $5 to put your name on it, and I put like the URL for my YouTube page onto it, and I thought they weren't gonna do it. I thought they were just gonna like put like Dippy egg without the URL, but they actually put the whole thing on there, and I'm like, oh heck yeah. I mean, I would have been happy either way.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But no, yeah, I think a few other people, especially in our little King of Drafts server, have that as well. Their names on there. I mean, they have this. It's much sleeker. Of course, they got rid of the lifter design. They got rid of the lifter boxes that they had on top of it. Now it's looking even more original Sin-esque, you could say. They've even like sleeked out the rear. It has an angled rear end now. And the team says that they're well prepared for this year, of course, as they always are. Plenty of spares, plenty of wheels, plenty of lifting arms, like you can imagine. And oh yeah, I mean, like you were saying, free shipping puts on a fantastic fight each time. Even back in 2018, had one of the best fights. Had an amazing fight with Huge. Had a great fight with Hypershock, with that big plow wedge thing it had. In 2019, it absolutely stole the show again. Look at the Yeti fight, one of the best fights that season. Look at the upset it had against Bronco, and even when it loses spectacularly, like when it lost against Bronco in Vegas or against Hydra, it always goes down absolutely amazingly. Another one, back when it used its, I think it was what it was what was left of its forklift as like a mace kind of weapon due to damages from Warhawk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Free shipping's absolutely amazing robot. I have the same issue I have with it as Duck, where, it's hard to really see a lot of the control bots making it into the bracket. Obviously, some will, like Slammo managed to last year and Mammoth, but like, I don't know. It's just hard for free shipping to score damage, even with that powerful flamethrower. It's going to take a lot of finesse, a lot of control, and that's really where the upper deck is going to help bots like it and Duck. A lot of those control bots are really going to come around to that outer half of the arena and definitely try to finesse anything they can up of that little lip. It makes you really wonder how often that's actually going to end up happening.
Yeah, totally. I could see. I feel like if any of the like lifters are gonna make the round of 32, I'd say free shipping is like one of the like two or three that I could see absolutely doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's gonna be like okay. I doubt it's gonna give them an easy schedule. You know, it's gonna be a lot of tanking. You know, it hasn't fought a lot of the names from its past, like bots like Gigabyte, bots like Tombstone. It still hasn't encountered them yet, and I think it's inevitable. Another one, Shrederator, another older bot. I feel like it's gonna get a lot thrown at this year, coming back after last season and having the All Star appearance in Vegas. Um, but we'll have to see. I definitely look forward to free shipping. So now we move from two of the control bots and BattleBots to the more popular ones to a former BattleBots semifinalist, of course, the 2015 BattleBots semifinalists from the very legendary Team Ghost Raptor. I mean, well, yeah, the bot is Ghost Raptor. From Team Raptor is Ghost Raptor, of course, captained by Chuck Pitzer with his unique team. People who perhaps leak a bit too much for their own good, but I digress. They're bringing back the usual setup. It's the lifter hybrid with the spinning disc, the spinning bar, and of course now armed with a flamethrower, like many new robots. They have the new lifting tusks, which are double as sharpened blades, and maybe we'll see a more spectacular performance out of Ghost Raptor this year. They also seem to be better armored. Seems like they made some good fundamental changes coming after a very rough 2020 season.
Yeah, I mean it looks really nice. Like it's a super pretty robot, and
Always looks
I
so
do
good.
sincerely hope that. Yeah, I sincerely hope that Ghost Raptor does live up to its potential because I feel like with the right build and the right driving, like Ghost Raptor could succeed again.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they come in. It's kind of cursed, coming in your very first season. Oh, not no, of course not the team's first season, but the robot's first season, making Final Four off the bat, and then everything's going to be under delivering under that, and they certainly have under delivered. 0-2 in 2016, um, almost just as bad in 2020. I think one of their only wins was against Deadlift, where Deadlift pretty much
And
crapped
Chomp.
itself and died. Yeah. Oh yeah, it did fight Chomp. Yeah.
So they got two
That's very
wins.
forgettable, but yes, that was certainly a fight that happened. Very odd that they had that one in the trailer that year. But I digress. Ghost Raptor, I mean, like we said, sturdier looking. Fundamentally, it should be better. That weapon looks a bit nastier. Like there's a bit more potential there. The teeth, they're low to the ground. It's going to be driven fairly well. Chuck Pitzer always does well in that regard. Hopefully, we'll see better reliability this year. And we know there's a lot going on under the hood. They still have that spring system that kind of acts as like a bit of a suspension, a bit of a brace. But I don't know. It seemed pretty fragile last year. Taking heavy damage from Shatter and heavy damage from a Jackpot, especially.
Hypershock did a pretty good number on it as well.
Oh man, I forgot about that fight. I had to rewatch the bounties before the season.
Yeah, Hypershock like ripped the blade off.
That's right. Oh man, but yeah, very fascinating robot they always bring along. It's definitely a standout design despite a success or lack thereof. I mean, even fans have been underrating it lately. We know in our King of Draft server it didn't get drafted in like a few of the leagues, which came to a surprise to me. I thought there was more name value, to the team, but I guess it doesn't mean too much now that we've had so many BattleBots seasons and all that sort of built up. But it's very interesting. And also we saw that they had it wasn't Getty Images. It was one of their Getty Images that was posted by one of the photographers there. At their pit table, they had a Nerf gun that was like set up on a mechanism that was wired up and everything. And I don't know what kind of use they would have for this thing, but it's very fascinating that they took a picture of it, and it seems to be like jerry rigged up for some sort of application. Maybe a mini bot.
Maybe it's a fight. Maybe it gets a fight against Double Jeopardy or
That's what I was
something.
thinking. Maybe he gets that because that's a good double Jeopardy opponent that might not do too much damage to DJ itself.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Right. There's so much of fragile spots. That would be a really good match, actually. That's a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double Jeopardy actually might have a shot in that one. To be honest, no offense, Ghost Raptor, but I'd probably bet on Double Jeopardy because if I was right, I'd be like, heck yeah, I predicted that.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course it has a shot. That's all it can do. But
Hey,
Ah, man. But yeah, I mean, like, it has the same issues. It's even though it is, of course, better armor for 2021, it definitely still looks like it has that same fragility, or at least very similar. You know,
Yeah.
uh, it's a very deadly field this year. There's a lot of spinners. Cobalt's back. Gigabyte's at the best it's ever been. Jackpot's improved. So many other bots. Tombstone. Orbeez now here. It's going to be a tough field for it, but
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of control bots and battle bots, but I really wish that these guys would give the Praetor Raptor setup a go again because I really like that robot.
Oh, yeah. Raptor's great.
Right, or at least like a alternate configuration. I always like the old Team Raptor claws, or that, or maybe like a new pack Raptors. We need more cluster bots. Bring a new pack Raptors. That'd be hype.
That'd be cool.
Right. Well, that is the 2015 semifinalist Ghost Raptor. Now let's move on to our next robot. Now, jumping into our first pure rookie of the NorCal region, it is a robot that's had a lot of talk about it coming into this season from UC Berkeley, a robot that we only discovered recently. It's Glitch, the very fantastical looking B-52 bomber-shaped robot, armed with the Omni X-Drive wheels, captained by Kyle Miller. It's an egg beater spinner. It's got the lovely V shape, incredibly sleek, and that spinner is deadly. It has a top speed of the 250. It has the Battlebots top speed of 250 miles per hour, 67 kilojoules of energy. The weapon itself weighs 58 pounds, and it has that straight AR-500 armor paneling. It has serious potential, I think. I mean, we've seen it in the previews. It looks like it packs a serious punch. Even the team has posted on their social media. They ain't messing around. They've shown pictures of a fight that maybe be later in the season, so I won't bring it by name. We don't know when that fight's exactly happening, but
Yeah.
it looks like it might live up to the potential and the hype. A lot has developed for it recently. I think it might be a bit experimental, but we'll just have to end up seeing what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Glitch. I could see it absolutely being a dark horse. Like, it's got the unique drive. It's got a weapon that clearly hits hard. Like, when it was first revealed, like, it kind of came out of left field because I was just, like, looking at, like, the Reddit rumor mill. It's like, oh, Glitch is confirmed. And I'm like, I thought it was, like, a meme because, like, I'd never heard of Glitch before. I never heard of its
Yeah,
application. But then it's, like, a real thing. But they seem like a serious team. Like, I'm pretty sure they showed up to the competition with, like, three like billet frames like they weren't just like some rookie like well they are a rookie but like they aren't like just like
yeah. The team has
showing
only
up
been
like
around for under
together.
a year, but I mean, it's UC Berkeley. These people know what they're doing. This is what they studied for.
Yeah,
This is their project. They put the money into it. And yeah, I think we have seen a few extra frames with the team. I know we've
yeah,
certainly
they,
brought
like straight
spares.
up billet frame. It's beautiful, man.
It doesn't look like a rookie robot for sure. These guys said that they haven't even done like the smaller classes. I'm pretty sure if I remember right.
Yeah, they could really take the scene by surprise, honestly.
I think so too. I mean, it just shows how crazy the reboot era of BattleBots is because the captain Miller he didn't discover this stuff until 2015 when it aired on ABC. So it's
Wow.
crazy saying this generation of builders coming up discovering robot combat through that way. We see it a lot, especially on Discord and in other communities now too. People
Yeah,
coming in like that. There is some issues though. They say that the robot is invertible, but there is no Shremek. I don't exactly know what kind
yeah.
of invertibility Glitch would have with its unique design. Um,
Hmm.
and it has missing a few features that it was trying to bring in. Apparently, it was going to have something called Vulture Drive, which was going to be a special assist, which would allow Glitch to essentially use a radar to circle its opponents. But it had some
That'd be
firmware
cool.
issues in programming, and they say that it's likely not going to be used until 2022. So this bot is going to somehow get better, no matter what ends up happening this year. And it's a fantastic looking robot.
Definitely one of the coolest looking rookies. Probably coolest looking bots in the field.
Oh,
Just so
Yeah,
absolutely.
striking to look at today.
With
I
the
love the Glitch
backlighting,
aesthetic.
it's super good. And even the aesthetic they didn't use, they posted on their social media. They almost went with what looks like a gaming mouse kind of setup, and that looked just
Yeah.
as pretty. Maybe we'll see that in a future season. I mean, Glitch, it's an awesome robot. I'm glad to see more Omni-wheeled robots, especially doing special drive. I kind of feel bad the wasn't able to make it this season, or in fact, Omnis itself made it this season, but the team didn't.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to bring him back for 2022. They aren't just going to not let them come back after coming so close twice over. Um,
Yeah,
and I look forward to Ominous, but yeah, Glitch is
it's
definitely a
gonna be a good one.
fantastic looking robot. Spectacular looking design. They came up quick. They applied for this season specifically first, and they're definitely going to make a plunge. I can't wait to see them. I uh, I think that I don't know what their competitive potential is in terms of bracket, in terms of playoffs. I definitely can see them making the top 32. We've seen that they're definitely getting a fairly decent schedule, so maybe they end up having a fairly good run in the regular season. We'll have to see what ends up happening. Uh,
Yeah,
I don't know about them being a playoff, a championship contender yet, but I definitely see them falling somewhere in the top 16, top 32. Maybe having a solid appearance in the bounty tournaments. It's definitely going to be a solid robot, one of the rookies to watch this year for sure.
yeah, I agree.
Moving on now down to a 2020 rookie, a robot that made the top 32 and definitely turned a lot of heads with its very big weapon, very bold colors, and fantastic looking design. It was a team that kept very secretive in 2020. Offbeat Robotics with Hijinks, captained by Jen Herkenroder, of course, went 3-3 in 2020, made the playoffs, but the team uh, ended up getting thrown out of the arena by Uppercut in a dramatic fashion, one of the best hits of the entire season. But they've come back to play this year for sure. They have a brand new battery system. They're now running the Tattoo 5100 MAH 6595C batteries for more drive power. Um, with these batteries, they have a brand new custom fitted set of battery gearboxes. Everything inside essentially has been made to be reprogrammed for the interior system. In fact, every component on this new Hijinks is new, and we're seeing that it's a brand new blade. The Hijinks itself has been redesigned. The modular armor on it has been fit to be more strength-based, more robust, sturdier in all categories. And it looks to be a very solid robot. I still think it's probably going to be a bit of a glass cannon. That's what I felt about it last year for sure. But
Yeah,
definitely a lot of potential with this robot.
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think Hijinks is a really cool robot. Like, I mean, I love undercutters, and it's like a very well done one. I mean, did pretty well last season, and I could see it absolutely being a top 32 bot again. And
For sure.
plus, it reps Pan Pride. That's always a plus. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, shout out to Hijinks.
I think it's fantastic. The issue is yeah, I made the top 32, and that was exciting last year, but I still don't see a higher cap for it, to be honest. There's not enough armor. I mean, it's a sturdier robot for sure this year, so I guess there's definitely room for it to make the 16 or maybe even further if possible. But I don't know. I'm just completely not sold on the wide base undercutter design. I feel like it leaves a lot exposed. It has the 1 inch thick UHMW wheels, which are sturdy, but I feel like they'd love to be an easy target. And I still think it's definitely gonna be food for pretty much any vert sturdy enough to take an impact. I'd love to see this thing fight like a tantrum, or even like a Hydra or a Blip to see the gyroscopic force in action with a fight like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Heck yeah, I
Yeah, I
mean,
know that Blip one, or Hijink rather, was one of my favorite from last year. Absolutely just love the thing to bits. Would love to see what upgrades have been done to it. They got a new weapon bar on it this year that
oh
apparently is
yeah,
the only AR 500 weapon, I believe, according to
Yeah.
their website, or according to their
Mhm.
bio on the website.
fascinating. I know
Which
that it is fully made out of Air
yeah,
500 steel, yeah, and so it's gonna be a sturdy weapon. You don't have to worry about any weapon breakages. I don't think they had any last year, to be fair, but I might be incorrect about that. Maybe some cracks or something potential like that. But it's gonna be a sturdy
I
weapon,
don't think so.
sturdier bot this year. It has the capability to be very strong. Jen Herkenroder's been with a lot of teams, of course. She's been with BRWC. She's been with Scorpius in the past. So she has the knowledge
Yep.
necessary. In fact, this robot was almost the new Scorpius, but they said that they wanted to keep it the way it was for Battlebots' like consistency. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting robot to see this year. They've kept a lot of the big changes really under the sleeve until very recently. So I mean, it's going to be as beautiful as ever. I think Hypershock still sponsors them. They always sponsor the fun robots, the most exciting robots, and I look forward to seeing them in action. Now, moving on forward here, we're talking about another robot from 2015, much like Ghost Raptor. In fact, the former opponent of Ghost Raptors and a bounty boss in 2020, coming back to a full season appearance here. It's Ice Wave coming back, captained by Mark DeVitz as usual. Um, Ram, of course, by Team Ice Wave. They made a lot of changes since the last appearance. It's a brand new weapon motor, sponsored by Husqvarna. We're using a concrete saw engine with everything, almost everything custom built about it, and everything has been changed except the engine head itself, from what we've heard. And some changes, of course, have been made as well. Everything, all the internal weapon components, I'm sorry, engine components in the engine itself of the internal combustion engine of Ice Wave have been moved to the back of the engine housing for potential issues like they had with Rotator last season. And it's going to suffer the same issues as any glass can robot like it, or like a full body spinner or a Deep Six is going to suffer. It's going to be big impacts, but it's going to be an uphill season for Ice Wave as it's starting to kind of fall behind in terms of modernality. But I'm super excited to see Ice Wave again.
Same. Especially after, like you said, they completely rebuilt the engine. I'm very interested in seeing how that's gone for them.
Right.
Because that's not an easy thing you do. That's not a thing you just,
right.
sit down and go, okay, I'm going to rebuild an entire engine.
Right. And it's not something other teams do either. So it's not like you have like someone to go
Yeah.
to ask these questions.
Yeah, like they're pretty much one of a kind that's left. There's not many ICE robots even left.
Yeah, I think
in
Rusty
Combot.
attempted it, but we'll get to what his issues were later. But it's still the only one as far as we can tell. And they're coming in series this year. They have 2 entire Ice Waves prepared, ready to go. It's the first time they've brought multiple robots to an event. And on top of this, they have 5 weapon blades that they're bringing, 2 of which are completely brand new to the 2021 championship, and 3 completely reinforced wedges, and a set of wedgelets. We're going to see wedgelet Ice Wave this year, which is going to be very fascinating. So they're coming to make changes.
I'm very excited.
Wedgelet Ice Wave would be like Bloodsport.
Man, we might see that fight. I definitely want to see some of these overhead spinners, overhead horizontals go at it. Throw Orbi at it, or even throw like Valkyrie at it, or Rotator again. Mix it up with that. That would be very. I don't know how Mark DeVitz would feel about that, but
I don't think he'd be happy if you threw Rotator at him again.
Yeah,
no, not again.
Maybe they're prepared. Like I said, they moved the internal components of the engine back, and I definitely don't see Rotator giving up that back half that so easily. But I'm worried about bots like Blip and the control bots and Hydra, of course. I don't think Hydra.
Yeah.
I don't think Ice Wave can get up yet. I don't think with its design, it's going to be getting up anytime soon. And with the upper deck, that's a big factor to the arena. It's gonna get in the way of a lot of robots, and it's definitely gonna get in the way of the horizontal spinners, especially. And Ice Wave, which you take too many janky hits on the internal combustion engine like that, you're gonna start having some issues. Look at the fight like Razorback, where it essentially just got worn down to the point it died. Luckily, saved by the bell, pretty much, due to Razorback also taking the damage it did. As controversial as that was.
Yeah, Ice Wave, I think it'll do very well this year. I believe there is video out there of them rebuilding the engine. If you're interested in checking it out, I think it was on their Facebook. They did like a whole 2 or 3 part series, I think, actually. And I'm assuming if you do stuff like that, you can kind of go in and improve the engine so that it doesn't stall, which of course is a big hazard.
That's fair. I definitely think improvements have been made, especially since way back 2015 for sure. And it was
that's a huge issue with ICE is them stalling.
Mm-hmm.
That happened a lot.
Yeah, and we can't roll far back. Its last full season, 2018, even if it did fight once in 2019 and 2020, its last full season, 2018, was it probably should have got the most destructive robot award. It got stolen by a Rotator, which I guess it kind of dethroned it in a sense. But you rip 2 robots in half in one season.
So,
yeah, what else are you gonna do? That was
Exactly.
easily
Yeah, I
one
would
of the
have
most
given that Ice Whip probably.
destructive
Yeah.
performances we've seen in the season. It was
If anything,
hypnosis
it's more
business.
powerful.
It was more powerful. I still want that Tombstone
Scarier.
fight. Mm-mm.
It's
I
louder now,
wanted
I
it back
think.
in 2015. Yeah, it's louder
I
engine, more
remember
modern.
seeing a thing where apparently, I believe it was Ice Wave, it might have been Minotaur, but they were like testing it out in the test box, and there was actually people on the highway like stopping to figure out what the hell that noise was
Wow.
of the
Oh yeah, Ice
engine
Wave's
firing up.
fucking loud.
Ice Wave's loud, yeah.
Like it's
Man,
loud
I
enough
wish it
that
was
you
at
can hear it inside a test box in a parking lot on a highway. What?
Right? That's insane. But yeah, I mean, I think they might as long as they avoid 1 and 2, and maybe even they avoid 1 and 2 with the name value they bring, they can still find themselves in the playoffs. Uh,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm sure they win an Avenger loss against Scorpius. Of course, I love the sleek black design. I'm glad that we're going to see a full season of this robot in action. But
Could avenge a loss to Rotator as well.
Rotator as well. I
And
thought
Ghost Raptor.
Ghost Raptor. Oh yeah. Well, that's an easy one.
Oh
Just give
god.
it Ghost Raptor. There you go.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be
There you go,
brutal.
there's its whole main season right there. No, that's not true. Yeah.
They're both pretty well stocked up. I mean, Mark DeVitz, of course, very well-known builder. They did see the stuff for the Black Eyed Peas, of course. We all know that. He did double robotics, and he has the telepresence robots that a lot of people use. Very popular builder. Very good robot, very popular robot, but I don't see them winning the title, but I can't see them getting up to that top 16, maybe top 8 again with a good season. But it's eventually going to get countered, I think, especially in this new arena. But I definitely think it's going to be an exciting robot. As always, he gets exactly one thing you can't expect out of Ice Wave: thunderous performance, thunderous weapon, heavy impacts, and that's what we like with That's what we like with Ice Wave.
Yeah.
Moving on down now. Here we have one of the robots, probably one of the breakout robots of 2020. A veteran, a newcomer of 2019, of course, and a robot we've seen in King of Bots plenty under the name Cat King, captained by the incredibly eccentric and wonderful Martin Mason, and driven by the incredibly precise Calvin Eba, is a Mad Catter with Team Bad Kitty. And they're bringing the Mortis style vertical spinner and lifting arm hybrid double weapon setup, and they've brought a lot of changes to the new Mad Catter. Of course, we've seen the armor setups, we've seen the Beta style setup, and we've seen the front pontoons. And those pontoons are armed with flamethrowers. I don't think that's been too much promoted, but it's going to be a very spectacular robot. They have the 2 weapon configurations, of course. They have the double lifter single spinner, which is called the In and Out, and then they have the big spinner single lifter called the Tommy Burger. And I mean, you know, breakout performance last year, almost won a bounty tournament, went undefeated in the regular season. There's a lot to be excited about with this new Mad Catter.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think Mad Catter definitely has a shot of going pretty far. I don't know if it could win the whole thing, but I do think that
Yeah.
it's gonna at least make bracket in the very least.
Yeah, it should be. Should be fairly smoothly getting into that tournament bracket. And the more Martin Mason on our screens, the better. So I don't think anyone
Oh
wants to
hell
complain
yeah!
about that. You have to be a maniac to hate Mad Catter. It's such a lovely robot. They said that they got some special configurations coming into this year that they're keeping secret. Hopefully, we might see something like the axe again, or maybe some kind of clamp. You never know with the team. It's a
Yeah, I want
crazy
to see
team.
that.
I love the axe. I miss the axe. I don't even though I think it's
I
probably
just really, I hope they have a good third fight though.
gone.
Be really nice.
Man, they had some luck issues. Well, not really luck. They had good luck, to be honest. But I mean, that was clearly a design flaw with Malice that year. So
Yeah,
they're gonna have a better schedule. They didn't have a bad schedule last year, to be fair. I think all of its opponents ended up making the playoffs. But
yeah,
no, Mad Catter. It's a fantastic team. You love seeing the community college space team do so good, especially against some of the bigger teams, like how it took out Ribot last year. Uh,
yeah.
it's a fantastic robot. They upgraded the drive motors as well, the weapon motors as well, so it's going to be packing more of a punch. It's going to be even nippier. It's always been a robot that's hard to kill. Especially now they have these AR 500 front plows and the pontoon setup. More more bells and whistles on the robot. It's going to be a fantastic thing to see in action. It really is. I can't wait.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Mad Catter always performs well. Always entertaining, whether it's in the box or the pre-fight interviews with Martin Mason going crazy.
Right.
That's great.
Martin's just amazing. I
Martin
know.
Mason watching too much 1988 pro wrestling before every fight.
There ain't nothing
Which,
like that. It's a good era.
yeah, brother, you got him
Do you think
doing Hulk
Martin
Hogan
Mason
promo.
like? Do you think Martin Mason like teaches his classes in character? Like he's like, all right, class today. We're gonna do you think he
It's-
does
I know
that
I
ever?
would. I would.
He probably busted out. I'll tell you what. You hear it so often. It's almost. In fact, it is jarring to hear him when he's not doing it. Like I remember with King of Bots
Yeah.
2, they showed a lot of the scenes of Emma's team talking. They were like the English speaking team, and
Mm-hmm.
every now and then you hear Martin Mason be like, "Oh, I think we should put this robot against this one," and you're like, "What?"
Bro, start yelling.
You're like, "What? Start yelling! Come on now! You can't be caught being casual, being
Yeah, it's
neutral."
so weird.
I'm surprised he doesn't have the Macho Man voice from just so much screaming.
Him doing the Macho Man voice in China just to screw with the people that have to like translate for him.
Oh my goodness! Just put a. We don't know what those translations say. For all we know, it says like unintelligible, and that's it. Just stays right there.
It's a Scott Steiner promo.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness! But yeah, definitely. I love Matt Catter. I've always loved it, even in China. Um, as a
Cat
Cat
King,
King.
wasn't it?
Yeah. It was I think it doubled up. No, it wasn't with Spectre. It teamed up with Rhino in two doubles fights, which I thought was a fantastic pairing. Hopefully we'll see Rhino and Battlebots 1A. That was a cool robot. Um, and yeah, excellent robot. Still as versatile as ever. It's come a long way from being the walk-in at Battlebots 2019, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
hmm Continuing on here, we have Malice, a very popular rookie from 2020 with a team that has really made moves in the live scene. They've always made moves in the live scene, of course, captained by Bunny Sorial and her team of Davids. We just saw them in Norwalk, and we just saw them at Robot Ruckus both in November, looking very impressive. This team, of course, 4-3 at the last BattleBots event, but they've made some big changes. There's no more getting stuck on the tail like we saw last year. They've added the TPU butt, as they're calling it, the little plugs in the rear of each robot. And then, like some of each robot, they've brought two Malices this year as well. So they're loaded up. They have the new failsafe on the rear, of course, and they have a new weapon as well. Their new main weapon, of course, they're still going to have Purple Pain and Big Red to be used as weapons, but they're also going to have the Drumstick, which is a very powerful weapon. Has AR-500 teeth and a billet aluminum frame. That's going to be the new main weapon. It's going to be very exciting to see this thing in action again. It's going to pack quite a punch. It's a shame they were going to move to a new Malice shape that they had to pull back on. I believe because of the upper deck and the inclusion of it in the rule set. But it's still going to be an exciting robot this year. Bunny always puts on an amazing show.
Yes. Malice, probably my favorite rookie from last year.
Oh yeah, they were exciting. You just love teams that bring the excitement. You love her screaming "Suck it" at Kurt Durkin.
Yes.
All that good stuff.
Them and them and X backwards trash talking each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the entire fight.
That was fantastic. That fight just as a whole was fantastic. Nothing like a good
They should have just
explosion.
muted Chris and Kenny and let them commentate their own fight.
Yeah, really.
Nah,
That would have been amazing.
fantastic fight.
That'd be great. But yeah, Malice is a really cool robot. I really like the design a lot. It's very unique. They helped me get second place in the fantasy league last year, so that's just always cool.
I should have got him this year. I wanted him.
I was considering it again, but I wanted to try some new robots.
I blame the Dungeon of Doom for not letting me draft Malice.
Yeah, that was a trend I noticed actually from King of Draft. Funny enough, from last year we were doing those drafts with that Malice was very rarely picked high in all those drafts we did. She was always picked low, the bot, and and I was like, I don't know about this. I think this robot has potential. It's been built for 2 years. It's been waiting. The horizontal drum concept was a bit unproven, but now we know it packs just as much as a punch as any other HS would. I mean, it doesn't seem to have too much issue with gyro. In fact, they probably could have used a bit more when they were stuck
Yeah.
in their rear. So it's an
Yeah,
exciting
that's another
robot.
reason why I don't trust the King of Draft for anything. It's because they drafted Malice so low and it ended up being great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird how the hive mind people work. But I mean, yeah, they came out of 2020 pretty well. They only racked up $1,800 worth of damages, which is that seems impressive to me. I feel like it would have been more for the average robot. Maybe that's average, but I mean,
Well, let's see here. Tombstone, it's like $1,000 every time it hits something, isn't it?
yeah, it's a lot.
It's something like that.
It's definitely a powerful weapon. But yeah,
Tombstone also gets 3 inches shorter every time it hits something,
yeah, Malice is
which is
absolutely.
also true. Malice is gonna be. I think Malice is gonna be one to watch. I think it can go very far this year.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
about
think so.
World Championship run as much as I would like it. I
Yeah.
think might be a little bit much, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a
Keep
few
an eye
years
out for
away
it,
from
though.
that. I definitely think
Keep
it
an
can
eye
make
out for the
playoffs.
top
So,
8.
yeah.
Top 8. I think
I
it's
can see you doing top 8.
top 8. Absolutely. I just don't know if it could beat something like Hydra or Whiplash or any of
Right.
those really high end or high well driven robots.
Yeah, I'd also really worry about it against most verts, like a basic vert. I feel
Yeah.
like they might have the edge over Malice, unfortunately.
Well, I think Malice could beat a lot of the vert. I don't think
But
Malice can be
some of them,
losing to
yeah.
Pardon my French or anything like that, but
Yeah,
I
know.
don't.
That's
I
a
don't
shit
see
on Pardon
Malice
My
beating
French.
Endgame though. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can see it beating
or,
Rampage, but I don't know about Endgame or
Minotaur.
It's in the
Yeah, I don't think it
upper.
would beat Minotaur.
It's in the upper middle zone. It's kind of like one of those gatekeeper bots right now.
Yeah.
It'll easily beat a lot of the upper tiers, but I mean a lot of the lower tiers and middle tiers. But you start putting against those big names. But it did show some potential. It did beat a huge in a very good fight. And
I had a really close fight with there was one last year I had that super close fight with. I forget who it was though.
Shatter?
Who?
Shatter?
I think so. I don't remember.
Shatter. It wasn't the best fight. It was close though because they both have weapon issues.
There was another one that was that was really good though. I could have sworn. I don't remember who it was.
Well, I mean, it fought
Tracer?
Axe backwards. Tracer.
It wasn't Tracer. It was really impressive in the Axe backward fight. Yeah, but
Axe backwards, Shatter, Mad Catter, Gigabyte, Tracer,
I think the
Huge,
Mad
and
Catter.
Sub-Zero.
I want to say it was Mad
That's
Catter
Sub-Zero fight
or
was great.
Gigabyte. Yeah, I bet you like that Sub-Zero fight, don't you?
Yeah, that Sub-Zero fight was awesome.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Says the guy with the Sub-Zero picture as his Discord image.
It's more than just a Sub-Zero picture. But I digress. I mean, like we said, plenty of championships in Norwalk, plenty of championships in numerous events. I mean, we just look at their championship in the Scorpius blog. It's literally 2 walls wide of things that they've won. And
Bunny basically won everything other than a giant nut.
Yeah. And she's been around. She owns
anything you
Mouser.
can get.
She has the little mini Mouser that competes in Norwalk. They're a fun team. They have the new paddle this year, which is exciting for them. And they've even added to their ranks. They now have what's his name? Oh yeah, Tommy Wong. They have Tommy Wong, who of course is from Droopy fame. Another fantastic robot you'd see in Norwalk a lot. It's a shame Kalk never got accepted, or whatever happened ended up happening to them, because I know there was a lot of hype for that robot. But I am very excited for Malice this year. It's going to be a fantastic robot to see in action. Now, moving on to our final 2 robots in the NorCal region, and the final 2 robots of all of our California robots. We've had 19 in all this year, 20 if you count Yeti, who we'll get on to later. And now we're talking about Scorpius, of course, captained by Zach Lytle, a bounty tournament winner, which helped them get Bot Bash parties back up afloat, which was exciting to see. And they've made a lot of changes this year. They have the new weapon clutch. They have the new weapon head. They have the new weapon disc, of course, is what I mean. They have the new weapon arm, the TMNT arm, which doubles as a roll cage. multiple armor configurations and multiple bots that they're bringing as spares. They've kept us all very well documented with their vlog series, and it's been amazing, especially for the info vlogs. So I thank Team Scorpius for that, especially. And yeah, they're bringing just as good as a robot as they usually do. They're always consistent. They're always a competitor. I look forward to Scorpius. What about you guys?
Always do. Scorpius is always, a fantastically driven robot.
Oh yeah, Lytle's amazing.
It's been the star of my King of Draft team the last few years, except for this year because I'm an idiot and didn't get it quick enough. But watch this be the year that it wins the Giant Knight.
Oh,
But,
happy for him.
You have any idea how pissed I would be? Anyways, Scorpius always... It kind of had the misfortune a little bit of getting big right when Sawblade got big.
Yeah, that's
So it kinda
true.
gets overshadowed by Sawblade because they're very similar.
Yeah, it always
But,
sort of ends up playing second fiddle in that regard.
Scorpius... It's come a long way since getting wedged under the screws, huh?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Getting wedged under the skirts and being told to stop because they almost cut all the way through the skirt to free itself.
That was insane. It's crazy to think. I remember when Scorpius first was announced, everyone thought it was a walker from their logo.
I did too, to be fair.
I thought it was gonna be some six-legged clamp bot, something crazy. Who'd have thought?
But no, it was just a really fast, really well driven, pretty durable hammer saw.
Very durable hammer saw, and yeah, it's a shame that it kind of grew in the same time Sawblade grew. Though they both debuted at the same event and had disappointing first seasons, so it's kind of crazy. They waited until the Discovery era to come through, but when they did, they really did. Excellent robot, has yet to have a bad season. If it had more spares, they would have made the 2018 playoffs. They got kind of goozled by the play-in rounds of 2019. Finally made the playoffs in 2020 and got a hell of a first opponent in Witch Doctor in a fight that was incredibly close. But like I said,
tell
they
me
did,
about it.
yeah, they the bounty tournament though, that was a fantastic run for them. It was fantastic to finally see the TaskBot Claw like put into action against Black Widow, and they got another win on Ice Wave, and they were able to bring them some money, which was exciting to see. They're such a fun-loving couple, Zach and Diana. They're awesome people, and I always love seeing them succeed. They're good people.
Yeah, they're fun. I said TaskBot Claw gonna be there again this year? Did they not say anything?
That's a good question. I have it on my TCC info doc that it's available, but I don't know how concrete that is. I think I've seen footage of them bringing it along because they have so many Scorpii, but
yeah. I don't see a lot of robots that I would actually use it for.
Yeah, that's probably why they were happy to get Black Widow in a fight. They were like, "Oh, cool, a fight that we can actually not stress about using the important weapon, right?" Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun little controlling weapon, though. Hopefully, we do get to see it in action. Maybe against a double Jeopardy or something like that. Maybe a triple crown. That would be exciting. See what it would try to do because it might be able to make more use of it with the. I bring it up a lot, but the upper deck, it's going to be a big factor, I think, into this season. Unless you decide to try using it like that.
Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing remains to be seen, but yeah, right. I think it will be used a lot.
Yeah. Like I said, if it's going to be that safe haven for control bots that they want it to be, it has a chance to have a lot of potential. But I digress. I mean, Scorpius, we're probably going to see this robot in the top playoffs again. That's a pretty easy bet. Very popular robot, plenty of fans. Usually has a lot of success, even with a loaded schedule. And we've seen one of its opponents, and I feel like it has a good matchup against it. And we've also seen pictures of some of its configurations. We know it's bringing the Scorpion King and Starfighter attachments this year, which are both very pulling into the long fork meta that we're seeing in robot combat now. Of course, Scorpion King, 4 long forks, and the Starfighter one kind of acts as like a double extension. That's the one we saw in that one picture. But they're coming. They're serious. They have they use a new welding technique. They upgraded a ton of the stuff inside that robot. It's a very exciting build, and I definitely look forward to seeing some Scorpius this year.
Yeah, same.
I don't know if they're a championship bot yet. I definitely think there's no reason to think that they wouldn't win the championship if they have the right run. But There's definitely probably some higher contenders, but I definitely see a good run for Scorpius this year. Capping off here with our last spot in NorCal division, the most popular robot easily in robot combat right now, known by any casual fan. They see the big blade, they know what's up. It's Tombstone, and they aren't just a fun act this year. I feel like not many people were rating them very seriously last year, just because they've kind of plateaued with how the sport's going along. But the changes this year, they're kind of scary. Of course, Ray Billings still the captain with his usual crew. Justin Billings, Rick Russ there. Hardcore Robotics, you know what they're going to bring. But for the first time in this robot's career, they have a brand new battery system. This is the Max Apps batteries packed. They said they want to bring 6 to 12 spinning bars to this event. So, they're bringing versatility, they're bringing variety. They're going to have something for every opponent. They have the new custom-built supermotor, which they've talked about plenty. It's designed for power, it's designed for reliability, it's designed for everything that Tombstone needs. And on top of it all, it's a brand new frame. It's more robust, it's more compact, and they've brought 4 of these frames. So, Ray Billings is not going to let his spot go down. He's going to bring every single thing to the table here, and we're seeing it this week. We're seeing it this year. Sorry, with this new Tombstone. What do we think?
Horrifying.
Absolutely. When you think it couldn't get worse.
I feel like Ray Billings left after last year and went, okay, that was fun, but it's time to kind of regain my
Time to
spot.
evolve again, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Ray
Billings
Billings
again.
Ray Billings is 100% like a maniac, and his robot is just pure hatred on wheels. It might as well be a Dark Soul fight.
Right?
But yeah, new frame. It looks chunkier, looks more robust. It's more armored, I noticed. Yeah, he decided he wanted to win a giant nut again, so I guess that's what he's going out to do, and jeez.
Absolutely.
He's going overkill.
Yeah.
So, can't wait to see that. That'll be... Tombstone fights are always amazing, whether it explodes dramatically or it destroys something.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Can't wait to see what it does.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's Ray Billings. It's going to be destructive. It's going to be exciting. And they're going to throw good opponents at it, Hopefully we'll finally see it fight something like free shipping. Maybe give it a rematch with Gigabyte. There's definitely a good robots fight out there. We keep bringing up the upper deck. It's going to be one of those robots that might get affected by it, It's more compact, so it's going to take a bit less of a footprint, but it's still going to throw itself with every impact. You know how it goes with Tombstone.
It is shorter, I believe. Which will help get it back under control if it starts gyroing out of control.
It is. It's lower to the ground.
Yeah, that too. It's lower.
Yeah, they said it's 1 inch lower to the ground and overall 3 inches smaller. So, inches do play a factor in robot combat.
Yep, that's the difference between everything, isn't it?
Absolutely. Every little... I mean, just look at fights like Huge and Mammoth and how close it came to Mammoth's wheels. Or even like Bombshell and Tombstone. We're talking about inches again. With Tombstone even.
Literally half an inch from taking the weapon chain in that fight.
And then even on the inverse, like Carbide and Nuts. Having that. I mean, yeah. And of course, Tombstone, a very successful robot. Multi-time major event champion. It, of course, won Battlebots 2016. It's gone all the way back to the Comedy Central eras. Hardcore Robotics has at least, with our Twack bots. And I mean, the Robots won multiple weight classes for Battlebots. It's a super heavyweight champion. It has the heavyweight title. It's Tombstone. I mean, you know what to expect, Ray Billings. It's a fantastic robot. It's always going to wow the crowd, and it's always going to have its fans. And it's always going to have its haters, too, because there's a lot of people living in that ABC lifestyle, ain't they?
Yeah, that don't like
Tombstone. Oh, yeah. It's like that story Ray told where someone was trying to recognize him, and he was like, I was on Battlebots, right? And this person goes, oh, yeah, I hated you. That's the mystique of being so good that people love to hate you. And
the only thing I think of is Ray Billings quote from the ABC series where he said something like, I'm okay playing the bad guy.
Right. It's
something like that.
fun being the bad guy, you know?
And I feel like Jakey Wert also loves being the bad guy.
Right?
Yeah.
I did that thing where you were like transferring the throne over during the pit stuff. They had like a little plaque Ray was giving him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't he show up with a thing being like, "Here, congrats on being a new bad guy" or something?
Right? Yeah. Even though I think Whiplash is the true antagonist, but you know what? I digress.
Oh my
Tombstone,
god.
Tombstone is it's gonna make a run. It's definitely more of a giant non-contender than it was last year. I think everyone was kind of underrating it last year. And you even see that, you know, with the King of Draft trends that we run every year. Tombstone is not that first round bot anymore. People will pick it in the third round. People will pick it even later sometimes. And you know, it's becoming more of that glass cannon, ice wave, deep six kind of energy. But yes, there's still a lot of reasons to like this robot. With the right schedule, the right opponents, it's going to make a playoff run. We'll most definitely see it in the playoffs again, unless he somehow goes 0-3. And
Yeah.
definitely, it's definitely going to be a very important year for Tombstone. You know, you want to stay relevant, and if it does bad this year, or kind of iffy at least, you know, eyebrows are going to be raised. So, you know,
Yeah, like,
we'll have to see what happens.
That's kind of been a big thing about Tombstone. Like, has it hit its peak? You know,
Right?
'cause
That's the big thing,
brute
yeah.
force will get you very far, but
How far?
like eventually, yeah, it stopped getting you as far as it used to because they're getting better armored.
Mhm.
They're finding better ways to counter. big
Everyone has a Tombstone
horizontals.
counter. That's like the thing people talk about.
Yeah, everyone's got a big ass wedge that they throw on it, or the forks, or you know, just stuff to keep it away.
But yeah, Tombstone is definitely a robot you
So,
can look up for in 2021, as it was for every year, but
like
this
I
year maybe even
Yeah,
more
exactly.
Thank you for sticking around till the end of this very early portion of the 2021 Battlebots Preview. Hopefully you've been enjoying what you're seeing here at the Combot Collective, as we only promise to keep developing this little studio area we have set up here. Obviously there's a lot that needs to be done still, but with every week we want to keep making this little spot better. You know, as we begin finishing off these California regions in the Battlebots Preview, we will dive more into the continental United States, as we will be doing our western and northern regions after we finish these two episodes. As we carry along here, you can keep following us as always on Facebook, Instagram, and on our Discord server. And you can keep watching and listening on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other places you can find your shows. This has been Sterling Brown in the brand new studio here, and you can find me on Instagram at SterlingTXTG, and you can look out for me in early 2022 with my second podcast, PhD in Bullshit, that I'm doing with my best friend. And you can find TaskMaster Yin on his blog, Beyond the Battlebox, where he covers classic Battlebots episodes. And you can find PoryNog on his own YouTube channel, www.dippy.xyz, where he recently hit 500 subscribers. So we're super happy for him here, and hopefully we can keep seeing his channel growing. And yes, this wraps up the California-fied 2021 parts of our Battlebots preview here. Credit to Supplement for her outro music as always, and thank you. We are out of here, and we will see you again.
This was the Combot Collective. Find us on Instagram and Discord.